Alright guys, I got something really cool going on. I've got two different sets of 6.5-inch speakers that I consider to be some of the best bang for the buck. This is the CT Sounds Meso 6.5-inch coax speakers that I actually have in my car. I think they sound brilliant. But I also have these EMF Audio Swag 6.5s that I purchased a while back, and I also think they are very fantastic. So I wanted to kind of show you the two of my favorite 6.5-inch coax speakers on the market. At the same time, I'm actually going to be able to compare these side by side. Now that I have a set, I can show you side by side. So I have the Meso 6.5s in my car. I have the components, I have the coaxial, and then I don't have these in anything yet, but I had them in my truck, and I will put these back in my truck when I finish my truck build. I do want to say a few things about each of these brands before we go into the speakers and what they're like. And I want to say that the CT Sounds they've been around for a while, and they make outstanding products. The EMF, they also make some pretty good products. They're kind of one-off products. They're not really a bigger brand, but the little bit of stuff they do make is actually well worth having. However, I purchased these Swag 6.5s when they were on sale, and they haven't really been on sale since then. And I've ordered some subwoofers through them that I also haven't gotten, and it's been over a year. I'm pretty disappointed. Hopefully when those woofers do come in, we can do that, because I wanted to do a direct comparison between the EMF Audio Bandhammer V2 subwoofer and the CT Sounds EXO series subwoofer. Both 12-inch, both 3,000 watts. However, I still have not received the EMF, so that's an automatic -1 point for the EMF crowd. So the CT Sounds, they've revamped their whole lineup and everything's new. This is the new box, the new packaging, and they're still the same speaker design. So we're going to look at the Meso first, and then we will look at the EMF Swag, and we will compare them. So right away, the box design is very similar to their amplifiers and their other stuff. It's designed in the USA, but they're made in China, like most things. I'm pretty sure the EMF is the same way. The packaging, the new packaging is really nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up these Meso 6.5s and see what they're about. Okay, so immediately inside there's some cardboard. Get them out of there, they're pretty heavy. There's the box, we'll scoot that aside and we'll check these out. So everything is contained within this cardboard wrapping. And here is the separation. Alright, cool, let's check these out. I've looked at both of these in the past, and I like them both. They're both my favorite. Best for the money in the 6.5-inch coax. And I've always wanted to get these side by side and see the differences, because they both do a wonderful job. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice, the speaker wires on the Meso, they're actually really nice speaker wires. They're a little heavier gauge. So because these are higher wattage speakers, these wires here are actually a little bit higher gauge than some of the other ones. So here's the actual speaker itself. So it has this nice cover on it with our logo and this chrome trim. But for most people that don't use these covers, we'll look at the rest of the speaker. There's actually these little gaps in the side where the sound can come out besides just the mesh. So I mean, it's a pretty neat, pretty well designed cover, and they look pretty good too. If you just had this in there, you know, in the speaker, just the mesh, it's very nice. So the speaker itself has a few very important things that I really like to have in a speaker, particularly a coax. There's a few things that I think make or break a very good quality speaker. For one, it's very high power. So this is rated at 60 watts. I can tell you I've got these on a 125/4 and they eat it up. There's almost like a circuit board right here for the push terminals. So that's pretty cool. They're actually push terminals on a door speaker. Super, super nice. None of those weird spade connectors. And this piece, it's not going to bend when you push it in. It actually is very solid. It's not just a piece of cardboard right there. Okay, so the first point that I like is the carbon cone. So a proper carbon fiber cone like this one is a proper woven carbon fiber cone. It's impregnated with resin, and you can't see through it in the light. It's very lightweight and very accurate. So point number one, carbon cone. Super accurate. The second is this 1-inch silk dome tweeter. Silk dome tweeters have a very soft sound that just sound really smooth, and they roll off very nicely. They're not very harsh or piercy, nothing like that. They're made for a very good sounding speaker. So this has a huge motor. The basket, pretty nice. Got their stamp in it. Just a big, powerful speaker. Big, powerful speaker, very accurate cone, very soft tweeter. This makes for a very nice, smooth, loud listening experience. Alright, so that's for this one. Let's look at the EMF. Alright, so we're going to check out the EMF audio, and we're going to see what they're about. For one, the box is a little bit different. It's bigger for some reason. There's kind of shakes around a little bit, but it's whatever. So these are 75 watts RMS, what they say. I'm pretty sure the Meso are conservatively rated. Pretty sure they're close to 75 watts RMS. 92 dB efficient. I don't know what these are. 90 dB efficient. So these are a tiny bit louder right out of the box, and I'll show you why. Because I do think they are a little bit louder at the cost of fidelity. And I'll show you. Aluminum basket, carbon fiber cone. This does have an aluminum basket on it, compared to that has a stamped steel basket. So let's check these out. Okay, so immediately in the box, you have the covers, which are held in by this cardboard here. So they're not like wrapped up like the other one. And these covers they have 6 points on them. They're also pretty nice. I think they do look pretty good. So these are advertised more of like a outdoor sports or power sports style. But I can tell you, they work great in a car as well. We'll take both of these off. This little cover piece. And then there's the speakers inside. And the speaker wire. So we'll pull the speakers out. We'll look at that. So first thing, these are stainless screws. So if you're going to use power sports around water, you're going to want stainless screws. These speakers are advertised as kind of a one-all be-all. They're good for everything. They're loud, they sound good, they're clear, they're somewhat high power, and of course they are, I don't know if they're water rated, but so the terminals on this one is very similar to a lot of them. They have a big terminal, like most big speakers would have, but then they have a bigger one. So these terminals are, what is that, like a 6 mil and like an 8 mil? It's very big. And the speaker wire itself is probably the exact same size as the Meso. When you go up in power, you need bigger wires. So let's check out the speaker itself. Okay, so first, it does have a carbon cone. So it's going to be very accurate sounding. However, you can see light right through the cone. You can see light right through it. See right here? You can see light. So it's not impregnated. It is woven. So it's a very lightweight cone. Now, supposedly, because of the carbon, the water will beat up on here and it won't make it really through those tiny holes. And it's just a very lightweight cone. Lightweight cones are very accurate. However, the tweeter on here is what makes them louder, but also makes them less good sounding compared to the Meso, I think. First of all, this has the terminals. It has like an 8mm and a 6mm, so it has a big one and a bigger one, and whereas most other speakers just have the big one and then they have like a smaller one. This one doesn't have that. You can also tell right away that it has a large magnet structure. The coil appears to be probably a similar size, actually maybe a tad smaller than the Meso. And then it has this aluminum basket. So it's actually an aluminum basket and not a steel basket. It does have this gasket that comes with it, so it will seal very well. It's almost like this was made to be sort of a drop-in, literally any configuration, and it'll sound good. But they do have one thing over the Meso, and that is that right there. There's a surround on the inside going up to the tweeter bridge. So nice. To keep water out of the coil gap. Now on the back here, the same thing. It's just a sticker, and it says 75 watts, 4 ohms, and then of course their branding, very similar. The tweeter here is the titanium dome tweeter, which makes for a very crispy, very loud, high-pitched sound for all the high-end range. And then of course the carbon cone is going to be a very accurate, very vocal, very thumpy cone with a lot of motor force, so it can be plenty loud. Then again, compare that to the Meso, which has again a copper cone, but has a silk dome tweeter, which is much softer. So the silk dome tweeter won't be as loud, but it will be much smoother. And the EMF has this titanium tweeter, and it has a little bit lighter of a cone because it's not pregnated. So it will be, I think that's where they get the extra 2 dB from, is from the lighter cone and the titanium tweeter. I can tell you though, in my opinion, these are more harsh to listen to at high volumes than the Meso are smooth at high volumes. So you can see here what they kind of look like as far as the shape of the speaker. So what they would look like if it was installed in a door. This one's more aggressive looking, it's more aggressive sounding. This one's more subtle looking, it's more subtle sounding. And I think that's why I have both of these, and why I use both of these not interchangeably. They're both my favorite because these are more aggressive and more piercy, and these are more soft and smooth and more subtle. So if you want a factory looking application where you can hide the speaker away and it sounds really good, or if you want something you can show off the entire speaker, maybe a sound bar, bank, something like that, these EMFs will shine in that situation, especially if you're around the extra elements that these account for. So I'm actually going to hook these up so you can listen. Hopefully my microphone can pick up some of these sounds and show you some of the differences. But I'm going to play them both at the same time, and then I'll aim them at the mic to see if you can hear some of these differences in the sound, and hopefully you can understand how crispy and clear they are. Or I didn't mention this earlier, but the Meso is a little bit taller. The cone is a little bit deeper than the other. The EMF also does have stitched tinsel leads. It's more of a subwoofer trait, but it does have them. And the Meso has the covered tinsel leads that have the little coating on them. So if they do touch the cone, and they probably shouldn't, it looks like they have a really good angle, but if they do, maybe you won't hear them smacking around. I can tell you I don't have any issues with the tinsel leads on either of these. So to connect these up, the swag, I'm going to have to use one of these wires that comes with it, because they have these terminals, and these are hard to push in there too. And use them like that. So I'm powering these speakers off of a T100.4 AB amplifier, very good sounding amplifier, and it is bridged. So we have about 200 watts of power that we can provide to these. So should be plenty of power. And on the Meso, they literally just push right in. That is super nice. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to put these in front of the microphone one at a time and see what they sound like. We're going to play some royalty-free music, hopefully, and maybe you can actually listen to the difference. This music is very dynamic and has a lot of different sounds, so we're going to try them one and then the other, okay? Alright, so we're going to play some royalty-free music, and we're going to put this right up against the microphone here so we can listen to the fidelity. Hopefully it'll pick it up pretty well, and so we can hear the difference in the sound between the two speakers. We're going to start that now. When you put your hands on me, touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Trust me. Touch me. Give you a good time. Touch me. Love when you put your hands on me. Give you a good time. Give you a good. Give you a good time. Alright, so that was a pretty good run. So we're going to try the Meso in the same configuration and see what it does. Okay, so this is the Meso in the same configuration, same song, same duration. We're going to try it. Ready? Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Trust me, touch me, give you a good time. Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Give you a good time. Give you a good. Give you a good time. They're very similar in sound because of the way they're designed and materials that they're designed with. Both being carbon cones and both having some very nice tweeters. You can tell though, well, at least I could, the EMF is a little brighter sounding, a little more on the higher side, and the Meso is just more of an all-around good sounder. So I'm pretty sure that the 2 dB difference on the EMF is factual. It will be just a little bit louder, but it is also a little bit more harsh to listen to. Even when I was listening to it, I was kind of jamming out, and the Meso, exactly the same. Very good sound quality out of both of these speakers. Now, here's the kicker. These right here used to be $199 a set, now they're $179 for the two of them. The Meso was like $99, but I think I got these on sale for like $80. So there's a pretty big difference in the price here, and I don't really know that it's in favor of the EMF. They are a little bit louder. They are made for different applications, and that's why I think that both of them are my favorite 6.5-inch speakers for the money. There's obviously better in both cases, but these are some of the best budget bangers when it comes to 6.5-inch speakers. When you want something that's loud, clear, and something that you can amplify. These will require some power to get them moving. So I think I'm actually going to finish this up by letting you just listen to both of them at the same time, making a whole lot of noise, cranking the dial on them. So if it gets a little scratchy, that'd be why.
Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I won't play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you beg me please.